And ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Video Reaction. I'm your host with the most, Brother B, and you can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's show. We got a good one tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the brother Michael Gerber and the Emyth. This is a video reaction to another video done by, let me give this brother his credit here, home service expert. The guy's name is, this guy's channel is home service expert. I want to say his name's Tommy, but don't want to mispronounce his last name. But yeah, this gentleman right here, home service expert. Check his channel out. I saw this interview, great interview, and I thought it befitting to make it a reaction video. This gonna be a 2-part series, maybe a 3-part, depending on how long it go. If you guys are feeling it, I did another reaction video. That one was more on the comical side and on the light side. This a little bit more business related. So let me know how you guys like video reactions on business related videos. And again, this is important to me. This book changed my life and changed the way I see things. Please go visit my book review video that I did on this. Without further ado, let's go ahead. Again, want to send a special shout out to my business partner, Brother Rick. If you're watching this, love you, my guy. Like to thank everybody enrolled in tmmacademics.com. And let's go ahead with the video, guys. Again, this is Michael Gerber applying the Emyth to become the best in your industry. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Home Service Expert, where each week Tommy chats with world-class entrepreneurs and experts in various fields like marketing, sales, hiring, and leadership to find out what's really behind their success in business. Now, your host, the Home Service Millionaire, Tommy Mello.
I gotta give a special shout out to this brother right here too. On the right, I never met him. I have reached out to him to get him on the show, though. I'm just waiting for him to get back. But this gentleman right here, Ken Goodrich, the guy in the blue suit, beast. He's an HVAC specialist, but I would say, as you guys know, HVAC is like our cousin trade. Just like electricians, up to a certain point, and plumbers, like certain industries match with ours. And this brother right here, Ken Goodrich, he set the blueprint for his, and I'm definitely listening and observing and following suit. All right. So without further ado, let's listen to businessmen talk about their business.
I'm sitting here with Michael E. Gerber, the man.
Look at this. Owner of A1 Garage Doors, $30 million home service business.
Legend who wrote the original Emyth, and then they partnered up with Ken Goodrich and wrote the one for HVAC and plumbing, which was great as well. This is the original book. It got wet for me. But the story goes like this. 2007, I started my business, and I met with my CPA, and he said, look, I want you to read this book for me. And this is the first book he handed me in 2007. And it changed my life.
Facts.
And so for our book club, I got to pick my book, and I said, you got to read the original Emyth, well, revisited. So, and of course, this is where I take my notes at the house because I didn't have paper. And then I got a bunch of questions here. So I don't know where to start. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about your journey and why you wrote the Emyth. I know it's in the book, but it's a pleasure having you here. And Ken, as usual, that podcast we just did was killer. Really, really great. So
Hey,
Well, if
y'all.
that was killer, then this is
This
going to be
guy right
killer.
here, Ken, the guy in the blue tux, type his name in and view some of his podcasts. View some of his stuff. If you about growth and business advice.
This is going to be better. Yeah. So go ahead and tell the
Well,
audience.
it's very, very simple. I say it's very simple. A friend of mine who owned a small advertising agency in Silicon Valley asked me if I'd come to meet with one of his clients. And he had a small high-tech company in Silicon Valley that he'd started up. He had a bunch of salespeople called engineering salespeople, and they couldn't convert the leads that were being created for them through my friend's ad agency. So he said, Michael, you got to meet with this guy and talk to him and maybe help him understand what he had to do. And I said, I don't know anything about business. So what will I talk about? He said, don't worry, you know more than you think you do. And I said, well, if you want me to do it, I'll go do it. So I sit down with Bob, who owned this small high-tech firm, and I have no idea to this day what he sold. Ace, my friend and my brother-in-law, said, look, guys, spend an hour together. I'll be back to pick Michael up in an hour. So Bob is seeing Ace leave, and he's looking at me. He's saying, Michael, what do you know about my business? I said, nothing, Bob. And he looks a little disgusted, looks at his watch. We've got an hour to kill with this idiot who doesn't know anything about my business, who's going to tell me how to convert these leads for a product that we sell. So he says, well, if you don't know anything about my business, what do you know about my product? I said, less than that, Bob. So Gerber, you understand, if you don't know anything about my business, you don't know anything about my product, how can you possibly help me? I said, I haven't a clue. But Ace, my brother-in-law, who owns the ad agency, who's creating the leads, thinks I can, and we got an hour to kill, so let's find out.
Okay.
So I started that conversation knowing I don't know anything about business. And in the process, I started asking him questions. And I keep on getting anecdotal answers. You understand? He didn't know anything either. Anecdotal answers, well, sort of, well, sort of, well, sort of, well, sort of. And the more and more I ask these questions, I realize what's missing in this business, he doesn't have a selling system.
Mm-hmm.
He was depending upon engineers who understand the product, who had sales experience, but he didn't have a selling system. So we came to the realization what was missing in his business was a selling system. But the more I realized that, I realized he didn't have a management system either. And the more I realized that, I realized he didn't have an operational system either, or a financial system either. So it was obvious this guy is winging it, doing it as I ultimately
Busy,
did.
busy, busy.
And he needed to create a selling system at the heart of this. So he said, well, can you help me do that? I said, sure, Bob. Now you understand.
Yeah.
I'd never created a selling system. I just used them. And in the process, Ace comes back to pick me up. He said, what happened? I said, he just retained me as his consultant to teach him how to build a selling system. He said, but you don't know anything about his business, and you don't know. I said, Ace, I told you that before I came here, but I know more than I think I did. You were right. That was the beginning of Emyth. That very experience was the beginning of Emyth. And then there was another client in a furniture business, another client in an advertising business, another client, and on and on and on and on. And then I suddenly realized Ace didn't really buy what I was saying either in his advertising company. So I had to go out on my own. Ace brought in a guy to take over for me while I went off to start my own whatever lunacy.
Yeah.
And the guy, after spending a week with me there, watching what I did, he said, I want to go with you.
Wow.
And that guy was named Tom Travisano. And Tom and I went and created the very first business development firm in the world, to become the very first business coaches on the planet. And the Michael Thomas Corporation was the foundation for everything we've learned and done since, with over 100,000 clients, with companies throughout the world, in quotes, doing the Emyth, and now doing the Michael E. Gerber process for transforming the state of their business worldwide. And that's what Ken did.
Ken, you read the book how many times?
39.
39 times. I've read it probably a dozen. Over 2 million copies sold.
And I'm going on record that I've audio booked it 3 times already.
Probably a lot more than that.
Millions more now.
Millions and millions more.
Millions and millions more.
I mean, it's affordable, and everybody needs to read it. If you haven't
Let me
read
hold that book up. You got to hold that book. Can you see
This
that
one?
book? Yeah. As weathered as this book is, and this book should be shining, it should be in gold, it should be in silver
I got
and
more of
platinum. Come on. As weathered as this book is, it's so critical for you to understand that at the heart of Ken's company, at the heart of Tommy's company,
At the heart of TMM's company.
Ken, less than $12.
Facts.
I'm sure when he bought it. How much?
Well, it was a gift. Free.
Well, there you go. It was a gift. He didn't have to pay for it.
Let me jump in on the 39 times so everybody understands. I didn't sit down carefully in my chair and at home and read it 39 times. What I did was, I was in a crisis situation in my business, and I had I think we told the story last time, but so I got a friend had given me the book, and when the crisis happened, I didn't leave the office that night, and I read it the first time, and I couldn't be like, how did this guy has been hiding in the bushes, watching me, and he wrote a book after what I'm doing, but he disguised my name, because how does he know all this stuff that I'm doing wrong? And so I read it. That's the first time, and then that was over the weekend. I read it 2 more times then, and then I was contractor, so I wore jeans, and I put it in my back pocket, and I carried it with me. And so, as I would get stuck or I would get frustrated or the things not working, I'd pull it out, and I'd just sit, find a quiet place, and I'd start reading again. And that's how. But I kept it with me for 3 years, so 39 times over 3 years. I guess once a month or so, but and that's what it was. It was kind of like my guiding light, and when I get stuck, like, what am I doing wrong here? And I would go find the section. I would read it again. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna go do that.
That's what's happened millions upon millions.
Oh, yeah.
Millions of times.
I mean, I think my favorite, and there's so many good parts of the book, but I love it when he says, the fat guy and the skinny guy. And the skinny guy is the hardworking, wakes up early, and it changes everything. And then you got the fat guy, and the fat guy's in your ear, and that's the technician. You have the technician, the entrepreneur, and the manager. And the technician is who normally runs businesses. I'd say 95%, I don't know the statistic, but tons of these businesses are run by the technicians that says, I know how to do HVAC or plumbing or garage doors.
Or appliance repair.
But they don't understand how much work and dedication. They don't have businesses, they have jobs.
Yep.
And then you talk a lot about the infancy, adolescence, and then the mature business. And most people get stuck in that infancy chase.
Yep.
That stage of their company. So talk a little bit about the infancy stage. And you could talk a little bit about your business too, but just what you've seen over and over millions of times, and why they don't get out of this technician role.
Yeah, well, it's very, very simple. You understand, somebody's got a job, and everybody here who's listening to us knows what a job is. It's where you go to work every day. And you're doing it, busy, and you hate the job, and you hate your boss, and you hate the fact that you can't possibly control everything that happens, and you realize that if you were to go out and do this on your own, you could have all the money instead of a piece of the money. You could become your own boss instead of working for an idiot who's constantly asking to do stuff that you don't want to do, you don't want to think about, you don't want to hear about, et cetera, and so forth. And so you finally come to the conclusion that what I'm going to do is go out and create my own company. I'm going to go out and become my own landscape contractor. I'm going to become my own real estate agent. I'm going to become my own optometrist, my own dentist, etc. and so forth. And what do? You go to work in the company being the person you set out to be. Now you're the dentist and you're the owner of that dental practice.
Right.
Now you're working for a lunatic. And that lunatic has no idea how to run a successfully effective dental practice, or a door company, or a window company, or any kind of company whatsoever. And in Ken's case, it's a HVAC company. So he went to work in this company, doing it.
Busy.
Installing HVAC, selling HVAC, cleaning up HVAC, repairing HVAC, all the stuff that a technician learns how to do. And your dad taught you really well how to do that.
Right.
But your dad didn't teach you how to run a business doing that.
My dad didn't know how to run a
He
business.
didn't. That's the point. So even worse, you got a father who doesn't know how to do it, and he's teaching you how to do what he doesn't know how to do. And that's the chaos. And they are everywhere you look, up and down the street of America, of the UK, of Australia, of Switzerland, everywhere in the world. It's a universal problem. We solved that problem by identifying what doesn't work in order to go to work on it to create what does work. And that means that ultimately when you discover that system at the very beginning, that system for doing what you're setting out to do, you can remove yourself from that system while the system works. And that's why Tommy Mello isn't sitting here doing a garage door. It's because it does the garage door. Tommy doesn't. Tommy invents a company that does the garage door. And that company that does the garage door is the system that Tommy has invented. By reading the Emyth Revisited, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. And that's why Tommy, by the way, is going to become my co-author for the Emyth Garage Door Company.
Yes. Absolutely.
Why most garage door companies suck big time and what to do about it.
Yeah, you're right.
You got it.
You know, Ken, you can talk a little bit. This is great. I love this. I got so many more. Hopefully, this one's going to go a little long, I think. But Ken, you started out. You went through everything. You've had your battles. You had the IRS come after you. You had you didn't have a pot to piss in, and now you've flipped how many companies?
So I monetized 24 businesses so far.
24 businesses, and you just said you were at the Super Bowl and hurt your back because you were on a yacht.
Can I just interject a point?
Yeah.
Because you said something and he said something, and I don't think anybody sitting here listening knows what Ken means when he says I monetized 24 businesses. So I think we got to get really clear about what Ken means when he says I monetized 24 businesses, because for them to appreciate what that means, and that means something immensely significant, you got to understand exactly what Ken is talking. Can you tell them what you're talking about? How do you monetize a business?
Well, monetize is that I either sold some or all of the business for a significant profit. You know, a infinite amount of return on my investment.
So wait a second, you get what he
Listen now, hold on. This brother said infinite on all of these sales.
I sold 24 companies for significantly more than they cost me to create. Significantly more than they cost me to create. That's what Ken said. Now, he did that in the beginning. Now, he's doing that double, triple, quadruple today. What's it worth today?
Well, my goal is to take my latest venture and monetize it for $500 million.
There you go.
500 million in the next 24 months.
Did you all get that?
We got it, sir.
500 million. So
look at Tommy's face.
So if I reverse that, I'm going to take 500 million And I'm
Oh
going to use
yeah.
a simple multiple of 10. So you build.
The Emyth Revisited.
So basically, you need to do $50 million profit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get a higher multiple than that at those numbers. But so 50 million profit. So if you're at 20%, times it by 5, you're doing 250 million to become a $500 million company. Now, that might not make sense, but basically all I did was take your number. You're getting a multiple that we talk about, and so 250 million, and you've got a path to get there. And what's nice is what I love about this is it's arbitrage. You buy a company, and you just told me you're getting to put an LOI, letter of intent, on another business. We talked 2 dates ago, and you just go in, give them your systems, and it's all of a sudden worth 12 to 15 times what you paid 3 times for it. Isn't that genius?
Nah, but hold on.
It's like
we 15 minutes into the video. This we're not gonna go through the whole video tonight. Like I said, I may do a part 2 or part 3 of this. It depends on y'all feedback and if y'all like it or not. I'll know by the likes and the comments. So please, if you're feeling the content, hit the like, subscribe, and share. They talking about systems, y'all. But to elaborate on that, like your processes, the way your receptionist answers the phone. Can she leave tomorrow and someone be sitting in her chair and that system be in place for her how to answer the calls? I.e., what brands y'all service, what brands y'all don't service, y'all service call policy, like, is it standard across the board? If you open up another store in another city, another appliance repair branch in another city, does the one in one county speak different or have a different policy from the other county? So when he's talking about the system, he's talking about the entire thing mapped out front to back, from the time the customer calls to the time that the funds is being deposited into your bank account and everything in between. How parts are ordered, how calls are in, diagnostic processes, how parts are ordered, how to schedule with the customer. Just all of these things, are they uniform across your company? Do all of your technicians know their position? Do they know their job description? Like, this is a deep subject matter. This ain't surface. What you hearing is surface. I read it a few times and I'm listening to it because this is surface what you hearing. It gets way deeper than this. But as you seen what the other brother did, I'm not gonna tell you, he talks to you about how he goes about acquiring those other businesses. I'll let him tell it. But I'm gonna tell you that he did. I'll let him tell it. But again, as far as the systems, again, you hearing the surface word systems, but it's a lot deeper than that. All right, we'll get more into it, but we'll let these brothers talk.
I'm glad I'm 36. I wish I learned.
36 years old, man. God bless this guy.
Let me tell you how I really got here, though. So this is what I want everybody to understand. I had a tragic event in the business. It fell apart. And I had to go put it back together. I got the book. I studied the book. I lived the book. I internalized the book. I implemented the book religiously. And I turned the family business around. My dad had passed away at 25. When I was 25, I bought the remains of the business from my mom. I played with it for 2 years, thought I was a big shot businessman. Nosedived, got the book, worked it out, and I couldn't leave the business. I couldn't quit because, one, I owed the IRS, and the IRS, they're with you forever till death do us part, right? So I had to have some vehicle to pay these hundreds of thousands of dollars back to them, and it wouldn't be a job, right? And the second thing was, I couldn't bear to go tell my mom that I blew the family business that had supported us for 25 years in 2 years. And I blew it. I couldn't go bear to tell her that. So I had two real motivations to get through it. And I did it, and I got through it by implementing the systems in the book. And then I started buying broken companies. I started buying. I want to retire, so I bought him. I started putting the systems in.
I want a blueprint. Here go a blueprint right here.
I put 3 together. That was my first deal.
Okay. Here's what I found.
I bought a broken one. You know why? Because I'm a business turnaround expert. Because I fucked up my own business so bad and figured out how to get out of it. Now I can fix any. And so I had 3 of them at that time, and then I sold those 3 in '97. But really, that's how it came about. Now we have tightened up our systems. We walk in, we have our checklist. We buy a broken business, and listen, I'm noted for buying broken businesses, but let's face it, they're all pretty much broken. I mean, there's the 3% that are really performing well, and they don't touch them, and they're doing well. But there's 97% of the time they're broken. They're not working well. You know, they're headed for a crash, or they're just plain bleeding. And so, so we focus on that because we get the best value. When I bought Gettle, which Gettle at the time...
Let me interrupt this brother too real quick. He ain't bring up some other scenarios that may not... My scenario was none of those. My scenario, or my motivating force, was I always felt like I was missing something. Because I kept running into problems. Like one technician would fill out notes good, the other one wouldn't. One technician was really good with customers, but horrible tech. But the other one was good with customers, but bad tech. Whatever. Like I was having like problems, like other kinds of sorts of problems, and I was looking for business management education. And David Oliva and other people had recommended this book to me, so I said, let me give it a shot. So mine wasn't that because, my business was going to destroy or anything like that. It was just like COVID had hit. I wanted to regroup. I laid off guys. I wanted to regroup, re-strategize, and I was looking for outside influence. And I'm so glad that I found Mr. Gerber.
Brand. It was a kind of an iconic brand at one time. At one time, they were the largest residential HVAC contractor in the country. And, they had fallen on hard times. They were losing $250,000 a month.
Oh, $3 million.
And no one would buy it because they didn't want to catch the falling knife.
Right.
So I had some equity in the company that owned it. I said, let me just give you the equity back and I'll take that. And they're like, where do I sign?
Wow.
And so I took the company and I took our systems, and month 1, break even. And we went on from there. This year, Gettle started the year before I bought it, did $11 million in sales, lost $3 million. Last year we did $101 million, made a lot.
Yeah, get that. I mean, really get that. Everybody listening to this, really get that.
Well, we made 9-figure profits.
Yeah, I mean, really get that. Here, Ken has.
And I plan on doing watch.
The most avid student.
Everything.
Wait. 8-figure profits. Sorry, 8-figure. I was doing the math.
And my book wasn't just smoke and mirrors. You understand? It was the exact opposite of smoke and mirrors. Every book on the planet is smoke and mirrors. This book is anything but smoke and mirrors. This book got to the heart of what was missing in Ken's company. And the minute Ken got a taste of that, and he got a taste of that as he read it, now hear me, I'm not promoting the book. Guys, I'm 83. I'm beyond promoting the book, but I'm promoting your life. Do you hear me? I'm promoting your lives. Every single one of you. When you awaken the entrepreneur within you and you follow a process that is religiously, absolutely replicable in every single kind of commercial, residential, whatever kind of company on the planet selling any kind of product or service on the planet, and we've done every one of them. When you understand that I can turn to Ken and I can say, Ken, you got the secret. It's in the book. Follow the book to the letter. And he's able to do that. Suddenly you understand why Ken, being the student that Ken has been over all these years, doing it, creating a company that is just absolutely transformational on the face of it. You begin to understand why we're so passionate about it. Why I can still be passionate at 83 going on 84, not just about Ken, but about the thousands upon thousands of guys like Tommy, who've literally taken this and begun to do it earnestly, as though their lives depended upon it, and they do. Then you can understand why I'm so passionate about it.
By the way, let me throw this one point. So I clearly know, like when I talk to and mentor lots of guys in the industry, and they come to my office, and I'm certain that we see, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred contractors come through our offices every single year, and we share what we're doing and we share ideas. But I know when you're struggling. I know what it's like. I've lived it. I felt it. And so, there's things that I had to do to discipline myself to implement that book. Like I had to take drastic measures. Like I got a mirror and I put it on the outside wall at my office door. And I made myself, every time I left for the day, I'd have to look in the mirror at myself and say, did you improve the business today, or did you prolong the agony? Did you improve the business today, or did you prolong the agony? Because it is agony. And, at first, I prolonged the agony. I got the book. I looked at some more of the book. I thought about it. I internalized. I left. And every day I kept score, and it was more prolonging the agony to begin, and then the improving the business came along, and more until I was just every day, my whole role was dedicated to improving the business, to improving the systems. So that's how I got through that. Because a lot of people take the book and they read the book, but then they
don't do anything with it.
They don't do the book.
With it. They don't. Nobody. There's very few people that read a book and do anything with it. I think, I was on a TV show, and they said the last one we did was KFC, and I said Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's interesting. They said they open up a new store every 4 hours, and I said, okay, what do I need to do to make A1 open up a new market every single month? And right now we're opening up in Boise, North Carolina. We're opening up. And you grow through acquisitions. I think that's the best way to grow, and that's what I'm going for eventually, to find a broken business. One of the businesses I'm looking at isn't broken. He said he does 25%. He did $4 million last year. I just talked to him today. So I'm in these guys' ear all the time going, man, you're 60 and a half years old.
Hey, you don't have to buy a broken business. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there. And, when I first got started, I didn't have any money. And so the broken businesses were easier to cut creative deals with than buying a real business that you're buying for multiple earnings and 7-figure price tags, right? So I learned this crafty way of buying just out of necessity.
Yeah, but you understand also that KFC doesn't buy broken businesses.
They just start. They got to.
They've got a space.
Yeah.
They're going to put a business on. You understand? It's like this little machine they're putting on that machine, and what does it do? It sells and makes and
It's
what
McDonald's.
it does.
McDonald's.
Right.
In the books.
KFC.
Read all about McDonald's. in the
KFC,
books.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is who we are. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is who we are.
Gerber looked
We're
like
not
General
anything
Sanders.
but who we are. We're not this. We're not that. We're not the other. This is who we are. It's the McDonald's model. So how do you create 37,642 turnkey hamburger machines throughout the world? You do it the right way, one way, this way, no other way.
That's a
This is
fact.
how we do it.
McDonald's fries are not soggy fries.
You got it.
Listen, that's what I was saying. With your processes, do all your technicians follow the same protocol? Is there like a set standard, like across the board that applies to everybody? Are the uniforms the same? Everything just gotta be the same. And why and how does that become the same? By implementing these systems, writing them down, making it a culture within your workplace, showing all of your employees this, having them sign off on this, continuously holding people accountable. When things go left, did you follow the system? That system eliminates ego. That system eliminates I told you so's, so forth and so on. So it's good to get your systems in place, but we'll let the brother finish right here.
The book.
Hey, it's very clear though when you walk through Tommy's business. This is a Emyth built business, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I already
Very
told
clear.
him he's the Emyth.
Garage.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
garage door.
the deal is, I haven't been in town the last 3 months, in and out of town, mostly for business stuff, but I'm not sitting there managing anybody, calling, asking them why. No trucks are breaking down, there's GPS, there's systems in place that we set a record. 2 days ago, we set a record in service. We broke 6 figures in service, which I was really proud of,
Wow.
first time. Just in service, not including door sales. So,
In a
I'm
day?
in a day, yeah.
Wow.
So one of the things I'm looking at is you go into a business, and you've gotten into more broken businesses than probably anybody, is everybody goes, where do I start? And I think for me, I want to look at, is there an organizational chart? Is there any type of manuals or handbooks for what people are supposed to be doing and how do they
No.
win the game?
That's not where you start.
You tell me, this is interesting because I want to hear
yeah,
both.
you start with a blank piece of paper and beginner's mind.
Okay.
Now hear me. Until you built your franchise model. Now everybody's listening. They're thinking, well, I don't want to franchise.
Alright, y'all, this is a good cliffhanger part. Because now is when we're going to start getting into how to structure those systems and those processes. And that's where they're about to get into now. But again, I did tell y'all this would be like a 2-part series. So again, if y'all like it, please let me know. Let me know in the comment section or hit the like button. And I'll do a secondary reaction video. But now is when they're going to start talking about what processes you need, what are the manuals, and so forth and so on, things to implement into your small business. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all enjoyed the lighthearted reaction videos, but I hope that y'all can enjoy the more serious ones that benefit us and ultimately provide for us and our families. But there I have it, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, in between time, I'm your host with the most, Brother B, and you can be anywhere in the world, but you with me. In the meantime, peace.